What's up? What's going on? Welcome back to the channel. Today I got you guys riding along with me. We're going to be breaking down a few topics, but first I want to really talk about the government shutdown. I think we're nearing week number 3. It started October 1st, the beginning of the FY26 fiscal year 2026 that kicked off at the beginning of the month, and we still do not have a budget. And I don't think we are any closer than we were on October 1st, unfortunately. And I think tomorrow will be 21st, so that'll be the start of week 3. And with me and everything that we're doing, of course, I retired at the beginning of the month. I still hadn't got my final check from the government. We'll see when that hits. But the big thing is, it always comes down to faith. For me, is faith, family, freedom, and really focusing on how you all can process this, especially as we get out there and you start talking about government employees, impacted contractors. I've talked with a few contractors that they haven't been let go, but their firm is they're reducing staff. Some contracts have been let down depending on what agency you may be attached to. But the number one takeaway from all of this is you have to understand how you can take back control of your finances. Having all your eggs in one basket with one employer, like that worked 40, 50 years ago, where you had pensions, you had employers that really cared, that weren't beholden to the shareholders on the bottom line when it comes to the decisions that they make on staffing levels and things of that nature. So I think it's imperative that you understand in today's society that you are a number. You are just a replaceable commodity. And so, of course, we love the mission and the understanding of how nuanced it is when you start thinking about the actual mission of the company, your attachment to the mission, their success. But at the same time, you have to understand, how can you separate yourself and understand what's best for you, what is best for you and your family when it comes to finances, when it comes to job opportunities, when it comes to advancement, when it comes to building a legacy and maybe starting a side hustle, starting your own business, taking chances and betting on your own self and building your skill set to where now you're more marketable from a perspective of not only for another company or getting another role with another company, but being able to start your own business or start your own consulting firm, whatever it may be, whatever it is that you're good at and your skill set that you've developed over time. And so I think with the government shutdown, it's a great opportunity to assess your finances. That's one of the things with Right Time. We're looking at helping government employees take a look at their finances. Look at, hey, your assets that you have, your liabilities that you have right now, your income sources, how probable is it that your job, you're going to come back? If this drags out, there could be a lot more people that start to lose their jobs. And so it's going to be extremely imperative to you to understand where you are from a financial perspective, from an investment perspective, understand what's going on with the stock market, what's going on with legislation when Congress opens back up. What are the things that they're looking at? And they kind of share some of those things. And that's what I love breaking down on my weekly coffee hour, $1 Million Coffee Hour. We talk through a lot of these changes to the tax code. And I've shared here in the most recently about oil and gas opportunities, Delaware statutory trust with the 1031 exchanges for those selling real estate, but then also some of the commercial real estate funds. You have opportunities on the credit investor side as well too, with like Goldman Sachs that are now have evergreen private equity funds, private credit funds, real estate private credit funds. And so there are a lot of opportunities out here that you have to understand how you can diversify your wealth and protect your wealth as it continues to grow in this unpredictable and dynamic environment, because we have artificial intelligence, a lot of things going on the backdrop with that as well too, that we have to take into account. And so it behooves us to understand that we have to become the best CEO of our last name. Nobody cares about me.com or whatever you want to call yourself. That nobody cares more than you do. And so you have to operate as that, because you're an entity. And so I think for like government employees right now, contractors, you got to assess where you are in the pecking order with your company. Are you potentially on the chopping block? Are you mission essential? Or is your job coming back? And then, is this going to be another theme that happens next year? Do you want to keep signing up for this? Are there going to be limited opportunities for career advancement And so, you know, really understand it. How do you need to cut your expenses? Maybe you're living paycheck to paycheck. Maybe this is a wake-up call there as well too, where you're looking at how you can diversify your income streams. Maybe you need to start a side hustle or take your business that you've been working on the side and take it to the next level. So I think all in all, it's an opportunity. Where there's challenges, there's always opportunities if you know where to look. And I think this is an eye-opening experience for a lot of people, that the job certainty that used to come with government employment and a lot of the contracts that were tied to government agencies and their missions aren't necessarily guaranteed. We're seeing a change in that landscape with the current administration. And so I think the thing that you have to do is I have to align with the changes happening in the environment and understanding yesterday's government, yesterday's jobs aren't indicative of what we're going to see going forward with the current administration. And it is what it is. We got to understand that and make great decisions based off the information that we're getting in real time. And so I encourage you guys to continue to look at ways that you can build up and tap in, because I'll tell you, from a military perspective and me being in the fray, and I had I would say an atypical career in the military, where 8 of my 20 years I was working in agencies in the intelligence community, and really from an acquisition perspective, that, you know, the programs and the budgets all being controlled by the appropriations with Congress, and, you know, being tied to actually having a defense spending bill, that it gets extremely frustrating. So I know what all my government people are going through, the lack of clarity that you have in your organization, because, you know, it's just, you're in a holding pattern. You have a lot of things, initiatives that, you know, that you got approved for your FIDEP, for, you know, looking over the next 5 years, that you want to get implemented starting in calendar year, well, fiscal year 26, and now everything's on hold, no new starts. You know, you're understanding, you know, it puts everything in hold. It's hard to manage a program under a CR, and especially when you don't have a budget at all, that it's extremely frustrating, but you have to get through it. And but I think from you guys on the finance side, it's an opportunity to check on your teammates, those in the government space, the contracting space, as well as yourself, doing a bottom-up assessment. And if you want to have a financial plan, audit, and review, that's something we're doing for government people and contractors as well too, on the federal employee space, to help them kind of get clarity on their finances. So definitely hop on my calendar. The link's down below in the description section, and I would love to have a conversation, see how I can help you guys in that space. And so with that, let's continue to keep the conversation going. We're going to see how far this drags out, but I'll tell you, you can't put your hope and confidence in Congress or anybody else. You have to take back that control. And I think that's the overarching theme right now, is the perceived control with government jobs and that clarity that we had, that you're gonna have to get out here, you're gonna have to find and make some opportunities. And that's what I love about the, you know, being able to network and get out here and connect with you guys, is because there's a lot you can do. And you want to go fast, go by yourself, but if you want to go far, you need to go together. And that's what we're all about. So I'll see you guys on the next video. Make sure you subscribe, stay tuned in. I'm gonna be dropping a lot more content, and look to see you guys here soon.